Welcome to In Defense Of, making the case for forgotten, overlooked or derided movies in 5 minutes or less. If you don't have 5 minutes, here's 5 seconds.
Mommy, I don't want to be changed!
Today in defense of Stop or My Mum Will Shoot, a 1992 buddy cop action comedy often considered one of the worst films ever made.
Go ahead. Make your bed.
All-action LA cop Joe Bumowski fears only one thing, his doting mother visiting him. He thinks he can make it through her brief trip, but it's extended indefinitely when she witnesses a murder. Now the pair have to work together, not only to solve the case, but for the sake of Joe's sanity.
Come on, Gwen, if she stays past Monday, I swear to God I'm killing myself.
Let's switch things up and start with what's bad about this film. I really don't need to say much. Stop or My Mum Will Shoot is infamous. Critics hate it. Stallone hates it. If you know this film, it's likely because of this reputation. The reviews all say the same thing. Not funny, threadbare plot, predictable. Gene Siskel sums it up the best. There is not one laugh or surprising moment to be found. So why am I defending it?
Excuse me, I think I'm ready to go in now.
Yeah.
Sorry about the inconvenience.
No problem.
Let's look at this properly. Was this film lazily put together or made by incompetence? Was it doomed from the start? Not at all, quite the opposite. Roger Spottiswoode is our director. Not an amazing director, but he does have form. He wrote classic buddy cop action comedy 48 Hours, he directed classic buddy cop action comedy Turner and Hooch, and he went on to do a Bond movie. Not a great one, but a perfectly acceptable one. The most famous name amongst the producers is Ivan Reitman. He made Ghostbusters. Nothing else matters really, but for the sake of argument, he also made Twins and Kindergarten Cop, so he has experience in casting a major action star in comedic roles. Script duties were handled by Blake Snyder. He wrote the book on screenwriting. Literally, he wrote the book on screenwriting. There was actually a studio bidding war for Stop or My Mum Will Shoot screenplay. It sold for $500,000, a huge amount for a script at that time. Female lead, Estelle Getty. Emmy and Golden Globe winner Estelle Getty. She played what is basically the same character in the Golden Girls for 7 years. She could have done this role in her sleep. Male lead, Sylvester Stallone. He's the exception. While Schwarzenegger was able to cross over somewhat successfully into comedy, Stallone was not. He has been in a few good comedic films over the years, but never when he's been the star. Is it acceptable to lay the blame for Stop or My Mum Will Shoot's mauling at his feet? Maybe. All the major players involved with this movie were in their element, so there's no reason they couldn't deliver a satisfying film. Given the reviews, surely that didn't happen and the movie was a big flop. Nope. $70 million made on a $45 million budget. Not earth-shattering, but that is a success. Maybe it suckered in an audience who paid their money but left dissatisfied. Wrong. Audience polling organisation CinemaScore says viewers gave it an average rating of B+. The movie was made by legitimately talented people, performed well at the box office, and cinema goers were happy. So why is this film so hated? Gene Siskel is right. Stop or My Mum Will Shoot is a movie of no surprises. The entire thing is predictable and safe. There are shootouts and car chases, but characters are rarely ever in any true peril. Every joke can be spotted a mile away. And that is why I like it. That's probably why audiences liked it. It's easy, it entertains, and it passes time. What were critics expecting? A movie called Stop or My Mum Will Shoot is never going to be high art. It's going to be throwaway. Let's see what we can gather from the film's artwork. Stallone is a tough cop who encounters some comedic situations with his fragile mother. Is that what happens in the film? Yes. To expect anything more is unrealistic and shows poor judgment. I am sure the filmmakers knew they weren't making Airplane or Life of Brian. They were making a bit of fun. And these types of films are still being made now. As I speak, A Bad Mum's Christmas is in cinemas. Look at the artwork. You can immediately tell if this movie is for you and build your expectations around that. What is the film about? Well, I'd imagine there'll be a group of mums. This is probably aimed towards women and there'll be some raunchy humour. So long as the movie delivers that and it entertains, is there any right to expect more based on what's advertised here? I don't think so, and I don't think anybody should have expected more of Stop or My Mum Will Shoot than what was delivered. It's also not 1992 anymore. Time has actually been kind to Stop or My Mum Will Shoot. The run of so-called spoofs that we've seen in the last 15 years or so, those are the comedies that really lack any kind of redeeming value.
What? Pineapple chunks?
Captain Ron or Carpool, they belong to the same 1990s subsection of films as Stop or My Mum Will Shoot. Nothing is particularly funny and the entire plot of both can be ascertained from their artwork, and they zip along for 90 minutes or less. Safe Sunday afternoon fodder.
Get in, sweetie. Get in. We're gonna nail those turkeys.
I honestly can't say that Stop or My Mum Will Shoot is a bad film. Painfully average, by the numbers, requiring zero audience participation, imagination or thought whatsoever? Absolutely. But there is a time and a place for movies like this.